Hello, my name is James Sederberg and I'm a CPA here at Elevation Tax, and I want to thank you for choosing us to prepare your tax returns this year. So I want to spend the next few minutes going over the single member LLC tax organizer. The purpose of this organizer is to not only help us organize all of your tax information for your business, but I also think you'll find it will help you organize your information in tax documents on your end. So this will allow us to prepare the Schedule C, where your business information is reported, of your personal tax return in the most efficient and timely manner. So Section 1 asks for some basic information concerning your business, such as the name, EIN, and address. Section 2 requests information on the owner, and Section 3 asks some basic questions about the accounting methods and activity of the business. The last question of these, or last questions of these section asks if we prepared your bookkeeping for the tax year. So if yes, you can skip the remainder of the organizer, which is sections 4 through 10. You may also skip those same sections if you're interested in us preparing financials for you for the tax year. So if you answer yes on this last question here, we'll make sure we get in contact with you to discuss that. If you answered no for both of those questions, you'll need to complete the remaining sections. At the bottom of this page is Section 4, and this is where you'll report the startup and organizational costs of the business. These are costs that were incurred before business operations began. You'll want to make sure you read this paragraph here to get more information on that, and then list all of the startup and organizational costs here. So Section 5 is where you'll indicate the day your business operations began. The date of first sale is often used because it is a conservative option. However, other dates can be used. With whatever date that you do end up choosing, you'll want to make sure you keep documentation to support that chosen date. So keep in mind that merely registering your business as an LLC does not necessarily mean operations have begun. So I often like to think of this as an example that, like, a retail store begins operations when it finally opens its doors to its customers. So the date you choose should be reflective of this example. So if your business is still in the startup phase at the end of the tax year, check this button right here, which indicates it's still in the startup phase. So in that case, the Schedule C for the business will not be filed. However, those expenses that are not being used in the current tax year can be rolled forward to the next year's tax return, assuming business operations have begun. So Section 6 is where you report the income and expenses of the business that occurred after operations have started. If you listed any expenses in Section 4, do not enter those expenses here in Section 6 because you will be duplicating them. Section 7 is if you have any inventory to report. Inventory is products that you have either purchased or created with the intention of reselling it to a customer. If this is the business's first year of operations, the beginning amount will more than likely equal 0. If this is the business's second or later year, the beginning inventory should equal the ending inventory balance from the prior year. Section 8 is where you'll report your home expenses if you used a home office for business purposes. Note that in order to qualify, you must use the space regularly and exclusively for business. If there's any personal use of that space, you will not qualify to claim this expense. Section 9 is for auto expenses. If you used a vehicle for your business, please complete this section and make sure that you complete every field within this section if you're going to claim this deduction. Page 4 contains Section 10 and the additional note section. Section 10 is where you'll list any assets that have been placed into service during the tax year. Assets are property that has a long useful life that is not intended for sale during the normal course of business. So while there can be any number of different assets, the most common assets we typically see include computers, computer equipment, printers, scanners, and office furniture. So if you had any assets purchased, only include that information in this section, Section 10, And again, do not duplicate that entry in section 6 where ordinary expenses are recorded. And then when you do fill out a information for an asset, be sure you complete each field for that asset. So the final part of the organizer contains the additional notes section. So we understand that the organizer is not all-inclusive, and there may be some items that are pertinent to your tax situation that is not asked about in the organizer. This is a section where you can record those situations, amounts, or other figures. So once the organizer has been completed, be sure to review your entries for accuracy, as we will be using this information and figures to complete this portion of the tax return. If everything is accurate, please submit to us the completed organizer, as well as any other additional documents you feel pertain to the taxes of this business. And one example of that would be like a Form 1099. So feel free to either fax, email, or upload all the documentation to us. And keep in mind that since this business return is a schedule that is attached to your personal 1040, the return will not be completed until we have also received all of your personal information. Thank you.